What's up, everyone? We're back in the Garage of Awesomeness today, and I appreciate you guys and gals for tuning in and checking this out. On today's episode of what am I going to be doing to the F-150, I'm going to be swapping out the factory XL grill that came on the truck in favor of an STX grill that I had ordered a bit ago and had the front trim of it painted to match, so that should kind of liven the front of the truck up a little bit. And obviously swapped out the Ford emblem as well from the blue to something that's kind of black and brushed, which I think will fit the truck very, very nicely. So front grill will be replaced. I've also got the trim piece that goes underneath the grill in between the bumper and grill that I'll be throwing on. The front bumper should be done here in a couple days at the paint shop. So once I get that back, once it's all cured and ready to go, I'll be reassembling that and throwing that on. And I'll show you some of the goodies that I've got for that as well. It should look really, really well. And obviously lighting should not be an issue once I get everything put back together. I am still waiting on the headlights to arrive. So with as easy as it is to take the grill off of this thing and, gain access to the additional nuts and bolts you need for the headlights, I figured, I might as well get the truck kind of put back together. I'll also be putting the rear bumper back together, as I've got those ready to rock and roll as far as the end caps for that goes. I have the new step pad that goes on top of the bumper, as well as some pretty nice little license plate lights that kind of match the theme of the truck. So without further ado, let me show you what's going on the truck in favor of this setup right here. Hold on. So this is what will be replacing the factory grill that's on there. I've got the cool little emblem on there ready to rock and roll. And then obviously this piece was painted to match. So I think this should kind of lighten up the truck in the front quite a bit and pretty easy to install. And I'm actually pretty excited. I think this thing is going to look really, really good on there. I mean, we can kind of get an idea, right? I mean, it's obviously going to be a bit of a change from what's on there, but I'm pretty excited. This is going to be fun putting all this back together. And this is the front trim piece that'll be going underneath the grill. It turned out super, super nice. I'm really excited with the way that it turned out. I did break one of the clips on it. That's okay. There's like 90 more on there. So this will be going on as soon as I get the new grill on. I am pretty enthused with how this turned out. I think it's all going to look really, really good. And the painter did smooth out the plastic, because this is kind of like a textured plastic, but smoothed it out and just knocked it out of the park as far as the paint goes. So I'm gonna get to work on taking the front grill off, and I'll show you. It's actually relatively easy to do. You've got a couple of push pins in here. I believe there's like 12 of them. You've got 4 up front that secure kind of this little vanity cover, so to speak, to the top of the grill. And then you've got a couple 10mm bolts that hold the grill and the active grill shutter system to the support back here. And then you've got 2 more 8mm bolts down below that I'll be taking out as well. I'll be swapping over the active grill system, or the shutter system that Ford has on these things, mounting it to the back of the new grill, throwing everything back on. Then I will throw the trim piece on once the grill is installed and all lined up and ready to go. Once that's done, I'm going to reassemble the rear bumper, try to get that on today. I just want to have some part of the truck done. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that today. I do have some things going on later, but I'm going to try my hardest. But I'm not going to rush through it, because I don't want to miss anything as far as a nut or bolt or installing the sensors upside down or something. So I'm going to get to work on taking this apart now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as these little clips. So I've got my trusty little screwdriver with a little bit of a bend in it, right? Trim prying tool, and I'll show you. So you've got a bunch of these little bad boys that have to come out, right? So you've got, I can't remember, there's like 12 or 16 of them. And then over here on the side, you do have some extra ones. You do have to take these 2 out that hold kind of the inlet of the intake itself, which, by the way, I did throw a JLT on this thing, and I gotta say, it sounds pretty good. A little bit more top end from what I can feel on the pedal. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's not like a 100 horsepower bump, but it sounds better. And it does have a little bit better throttle response, which I'm okay with. Back to this. Then you've got these, you got 4 of these bad boys, 4 spread across the front that have to come out. Once I get those out, then down here, you've got these that have to pop out because these are kind of the base of the shutter system. So these are easy to take out. Once I get this piece off up here, I'll show you the 4 10mm bolts that are behind there. And like I said earlier, I will mount the shutter system onto the new grill and then reinstall the new grill. Now, one thing that you certainly don't want to miss on this is there is a plug that sits right here that connects to the shutter system, obviously to activate it and probably send all the information to the truck that it needs in regards to that. You definitely want to make sure that you unplug that first as well, but I'll show you that. I'm gonna get started. Let's go. All right, so there are 14 of these on there. I was totally wrong. And obviously I've taken these off a couple times in this truck to kind of see what I'm starting off with. So once you get those off, then you're gonna wanna pull these out. I was wrong. There's actually 5 of these. Yeah, figured I'd count a little bit better, I guess not. So once you've got all the little plastic push pins out, this valence comes up. Set it off to the side. Now you've got 4 bolts, and I'll show you those real quick, that actually hold all this together. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the plug that I was telling you guys about. So you can actually pop this off. It unplugs like so. So obviously you don't want to have to worry about replacing that or breaking it if you don't have to. So I'm going to remove the 2 nuts and bolts from below, like I showed you earlier. These ones in here, and then I'll take these out, and then I'll take the whole grill off and swap the shutters over to the new grill, and we're good to go. So let's get back to it. And for those wondering, the bolts on the lower portion are 8mm, and then you've got 10 mils across the top, which are the 4. So let's get those off now. 4 out. And that's it. Whole grill is out. I'm going to transfer over the shutter system to the new grill and then basically just reinstall it and go. Now, there's nothing wrong with this grill. I'm just not a huge fan of it. And in my opinion, I think it kind of impedes some of the airflow, but that just may be me overthinking. So this one is going for sale. I don't know when. So now it's time to get the new one on. All right, so on to the trim that goes between the grill and the bumper. You've got these 4 8mm bolts that actually secure the trim inside the wheel liner. Once I get everything lined up and snapped in, I'll work obviously in putting those on, and that's as good as it's gonna get for the front end today. But I can tell you, I mean, if you guys can get a good view of that, I think that looks by far better than the factory setup that came on the truck. And obviously, I mean, it looks pretty clean. And I gotta say, when the new headlights get here and those get popped in there and I put the front bumper on, I think the whole truck is just gonna look that much better. I mean, compared to when I got it, obviously this thing looks pretty stout, and I have 0 complaints thus far because it's coming together the way that I had envisioned it when I first got the truck, when I first seen it, and I was like, I wonder what I could do with something like that. So anyway, I'm going to get everything kind of cleaned up here, but let's get this piece on first, shall we? All right. And there you go. Now I just got to put the 2 bolts in on each side. I'll show you guys where those go real quick. Pretty easy to do. Takes a little bit of time, but right inside here, you can see these 2 little openings right here, right? That's where these bad boys mount. So kind of scratch the paint a little bit. But at the end of the day, I can clean that up. That's pretty easy. The paint, well, I'm not a painter by any means. Maybe I'll work on that. All right, guys, so day 2 of putting the front end of the F-150 back together. I had obviously the grill on, I had the new badge inserted in there, I had the trim piece put on, and then I got the bumper back, and I actually got some new Alpharex headlights. So I figured, you know what, I would postpone finishing this thing up until today so I can get the headlights put in, wired up correctly, get the bumper put back together, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. I got that all knocked out and put on the truck. It's actually fairly easy. And I got the grill sitting out because I also got some new emblems for the truck, which I'm actually pretty excited to show you guys. I got these off of eBay. This is the grill emblem, painted white and black, which I think on the black base will actually set off the front end that much more. And I got a matching one for the tailgate as well. So I'm pretty excited. I think these things turned out pretty slick. I did some searching and just kind of came across them on eBay, and I was like, all right, you know, let's give it a shot and see, because I think at the end of the day, the white and black will match the truck a little bit better than the previous badges or emblems I put on there, which were these ones, the kind of the black and the brush kind of look, which are pretty slick badges. But the whole truck is white and black. So it just kind of seemed fitting to throw those on. So let me show you these Alpharex headlights. These are the Nova series for the 18 to 20 Ford F-150. Super easy to install. I've already tapped the fuse box, or the fuse I should say, with a T-tap, so that way I can have the DRLs on while I'm driving, which are pretty slick. The startup sequence is pretty slick. The unlock and lock sequence is pretty cool. Just as cool as the taillights. Obviously, I'm just a big kid at heart, so I mean, I enjoy the simple things in life. But I got these in. I'm actually going to swap the emblem on the grill now from the black and the brush over to the white and the black, and then basically put everything back together, throw the trim piece back on, and the front end's pretty much done. The new hood should be here in a few weeks, and then I've also got some door handles, painted and matched door handles I'm going to swap on this thing as well, and that should be it looks wise. I've been kind of going back and forth on maybe throwing some, I believe they're Lariat or limited or platinum fender flares. They're kind of small, kind of thin, but I think it would kind of really look good with the wheel and tire combo that I've got on here, and kind of give it just a little bit more of kind of a beefy stance to it. But I'm kind of undecided on that. So let me show you, as far as the headlights go, they're actually pretty easy to install. Alpharex has obviously a QR code on there, so scan it. They walk you through the install, super, super easy. But I'll show you, obviously these things do mount into factory location. They reuse all the factory hardware up top with your bolts, push pins, and they've obviously got the openings for the clips so the grill snaps back in. For the DRL wiring, I actually kind of ran that back up through here, and I actually have it kind of tucked in here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I've got it kind of tucked up here, and I have it kind of running across the front of the grill, and then I have it swooping down, feeds in the back, plugs in, so my DRLs and everything work as advertised. So headlights are in, bumper is on and put back together. Now I kind of mixed some of the old parts and new parts with the front bumper. So let me tell you, in case you forgot, I did throw a set of the dual mode Alpharex fog lights in there, which are amber and white, which is kind of slick, and I've tried those out and they are pretty bright. And if you guys know me, I mean, obviously I like being able to see at night, but not blind people, but see at night. So I reused the factory housing, obviously, swapped that in there, cleaned these up as best as I could. They still look great after sitting for a little bit. Had the factory bumper actually blasted and painted. It turned out pretty nice. Obviously it's not a show truck, but for me, I think it turned out really nice, and it matches the truck really well, and it just kind of gives it a bit of a cleaner look than the black bumpers did. I did reuse all of the moldings that the bumper came with for both the center section and then obviously the outboard pieces. I did have to order some new bumper caps, which I got these off of Amazon. It was like 20 bucks for the pair shipped. They look good, they fit well. They came with all new hardware. They're not loose. They look great. I did reuse the front center section that came with the truck, and obviously kept the license plate mount that snaps in here in the event that I put a front plate on this, which I highly doubt will happen. So the front bumper is on, and I gotta tell you, it does look pretty dang good. Just reran all the wiring for the fog lights and everything, right where obviously Ford had put that. But yeah, it's on. So 6 bolts hold this thing on the front of the frame. If you guys remember from the last video, I painted everything under here because I just wanted it to look good. And I knew what it looked like. So obviously, I don't know, call it OCD if you will. But that's all good to go now. Got the fog lights installed, tested them. They work great. I'm actually pretty excited to try these out at night to see how I really like them, because obviously you're never gonna get the full effect during the day. So I'm gonna get to swapping the factory emblem, or not the factory emblem, but swapping the emblem in the factory grill and get everything put back together, get the trim put on, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Again, I've had this front end apart more times than I can count. I wouldn't call myself a professional by any means, but it is nice how easy these things do come apart. As long as you're careful with it, you can pretty much reuse all the clips, all the little push pin little deals. So yeah, but it's coming together pretty nice. So now I'm gonna show you the tailgate, because I already did that earlier. I got impatient. I forgot to set up my phone camera, but let me show you what I'm talking about back here. So if you guys and gals remember before, I had the brushed and black one back here. Now I've got the black and white, which I think just looks really, really good on the truck. In my opinion, I think it matches really well, and I like it. I do. It's the little things. And the bed still looks great. So if you guys watched that last video or kind of cruise through it, you remember I put all the new plastics on the bed cover and all that kind of good stuff. So that's all good. I got these little bad boys off of Amazon as well. I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't crazy keen on it, but after I got them, I added some more double-sided tape to them, and they actually look really good. And they they fit really, really well. And the white is almost perfect with the Oxford white on this truck. So slowly but surely it's coming together. The one thing that drove me to want to swap these out was basically having these on here and having the rest of the truck kind of paint matched, or I should say getting a lot of the factory parts painted to match, just because I think it'll just clean it up quite a bit and kind of give it more of the look that I'm going for with the truck, which is something that's just clean, street truck, and has a few more ponies under the hood. But I want to get it looking right and obviously dialed in before I add any power to the truck. So that's a whole nother, Lord knows however many videos. So for now, I'm gonna get the emblem swapped. I'll get that back on and get it put back together, let you guys take a look at it, see what you think. I did clean up under here a bit, obviously, for those that have watched the videos in the past. It's just what I do. So I'll get this. All right, guys, without further ado, here's the cherry on top of the freshly made over, changed, whatever you want to call it, front end of my new street truck / work truck, F-150. And that is the painted to match grill emblem. And as you can tell, I've got everything back together, and I couldn't be happier with how it went together. I couldn't be happier with how it looks, and I am just super ecstatic at this point in time. A few things with the front of this truck that I did change for those that maybe didn't catch the last video or two. I bought the truck, just an XL work truck, spent the last 4 or 5 years of its life basically just putting in work, and it showed. But that's fine. I got the truck with the intention of putting it together like this, literally. And the second half of this journey with this thing includes adding a few more ponies under the hood, which I'll be new to on the Ford platform as well, which I'm actually looking forward to. Gives me an opportunity to learn some more. But anyway, so the truck's got an STX grill in it now. Painted the frame to match. Factory hood for now. It is getting a Cervini's 4-inch cowl before too long. Did the paint match front rear emblems for the grill and the tailgate. Took the factory trim piece, just had it cleaned up and painted. Took the factory bumper itself, took it all apart, had the metal itself painted. Did throw on the new bump stops in the front. Did reuse the center section as well as the valence. And I did reuse the fog light buckets, but I did throw in some Alpha Rex fog lights that are dual mode, both amber and white LED. And as you can tell, I got the headlights in, and I gotta tell you, they are pretty slick. I'm a fan. I think the unlock sequence these things is cool. I think the DRLs, because that's basically what it looks like when the truck's running, I'm driving around. Looks great. It's clean. It's white. It matches the theme of the truck with the white and black. These are the Alpha Black Nova Alpha Rex headlights. Super easy to install. Reuses a lot of the factory hardware. Comes with all the plugs and harnesses that you need to basically pop these things in your truck and be able to not just have something that works very well at night as far as lighting your path down the road, but aesthetically they look phenomenal. This is, like I said, the Alpha Black series, so they're pretty much all black, and it matches the theme that I was going for with this truck to a T. So here it is. It's all done. There is the updated front end, all ready to rock and roll. And I am absolutely ecstatic, guys and gals. I can't tell you how stoked I am to go drive this thing, now having the bumper on, having the trim piece on, having the grill the way that I wanted it from the get-go. I like the openness of the STX grill. It is, yes, a pain to clean inside here, but at the end of the day, it beats the grill that came on the truck, and it does obviously help make the emblem in the front kind of pop a little bit more, which I'm a fan of too. So I'll do a walk around video for you guys and gals here shortly. Probably just kind of do something kind of brief, you know, kind of just showing you the truck of where it's at. For those that have seen the previous videos when I started off with this thing, it doesn't look anything like when I got the truck originally. And I've gotten a slew of compliments that I'm super grateful for, and a lot of positive feedback on the truck driving it around, because I do take it out, and I have driven it in the various stages, as far as obviously when I first got it, and then taking the grill guard off and, you know, stripping the front end down, stripping the back end down, reverse leveling it, you know, throwing the wheels and tires on. So it's definitely come a long ways in the 6 or 7 weeks that I've had it. So, but there it is. So let me know what you guys think down below. Next up will be just a walk around on it, just to show you kind of a better view of the entire truck. And then I will, right after this, post a picture or a couple little snippets of what the truck looked like when I first got it, just to kind of give you a reminder of how far it's come. And again, it is a fun little truck, and I am super excited to get to work under the hood of this thing and have even more fun with it and see kind of where I want to take it to next level, so to speak. So let's get to the walk around portion right after the very first pictures and videos that I took of this thing, so you guys can get a better idea of where I started. Ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. All right, guys, here is the final product with the basically everything installed back in the truck. Grill, new front painted to match emblem, the Alpha Rex headlights, the Alpha Rex fog lights, the little painted to match caps on the mirrors. I threw those on. Next up, I will be installing a set of the some paint match door handles that I found. So pretty excited to get those going. Probably throw those on sometime this weekend. But here she is. She's all getting pretty close to getting done aesthetically. Got the wheels and tires on it. Got the rear wheel liners in it. Going out back. Obviously the back end of the truck is all done and ready to go with the painted to match emblem and the Ford lettering and everything from previous videos. So yeah, here she is. I gotta say though, this thing's cleaning up pretty nicely. I mean, considering where I started from, this is definitely got the look I was going for. I got a Cervini's head that should be here in a couple weeks. So obviously I'll walk you guys through that. I'll get it thrown on the truck, get it test fitted, get everything swapped over that I need to, get it painted. But yeah, she looks good. And I gotta say, this thing is just, it's fun. It's a fun little truck, that's for sure. So, but there it is. And obviously the unlock sequence with the Alpha Rexes all ready to rock and roll. So there you go. So next up will be the hood.